Here is Sebastian!
Yes, thanks a lot. Well, there's going to be a few jokes about German, so don't be offended that seeing the person there. Anyway, yes, my name is Sebastian. I'm a fisheries biologist, so I eat fish for a living. I count them and then I eat them. No, but I do love animals. I mean, you have to believe me, I love them, yes, only if they taste really good. Anyway, so I'm from Germany. And sometimes it's like when I'm saying I'm from Germany, I can see people twitch. Oh no, he's from Germany. Don't mention the word war. They're very sensitive about it. But you know what? Okay, it's okay. It's okay. You know, like time has passed, and we do have a sense of humor. Just don't make us too angry. Okay. Well, I was sort of thinking about it. Where does this sort of come from? You know, this sort of evilness association with the Germans, and sort of concluded maybe it's something in our genes. You know, maybe I have more of this inside of me than I ever thought. You know, I did study biology, but I probably killed more wildlife than a drunk driver in a safari park. It's a bit crazy. Anyway. I did a study once on blue swimmer crabs when I was doing my PhD in Australia. You know, crabs, crustaceans, they walk like this. You know, like MC Hammer chasing a bowl of muesli. Can't touch this crustacean. Why do they actually walk sideways? I mean, think about it, you know, they have 6 legs, maybe even 10, and they should be perfectly capable of walking straight. But no, they walk sideways. Well, I think of them as being like the gluten-intolerant species in the animal kingdom. Oh no, we can't walk straight. No, this is like really not good for our feet. They get itchy and irritated. We have to walk sideways. That's maybe why God created beaches that are wider than long. Think of Portugal, crab country, or, well, maybe it's like if they would be living in a city, they would demand like extra footpath for sideways walkers, or even worse, if they would be very gender conscious, there would be like a sideway walking direction fluid. You know? Anyway, so I did this study on these blue swimmer crabs. I had to collect hundreds of them, like literally hundreds. And I know it might frighten you a little bit to hear these words coming out of the mouth of a German. But no, I didn't use any barbed wire fences or, you know, concrete bunkers or little trays on the beach to collect them in. No, don't worry. No, I used just, you know, nice PVC buckets, green, gentle, soft plastic buckets to put them in. So one at a time, you know, they were maybe waving at each other blindly, complaining there was not enough space to walk sideways. But then what I had to do is to rip off their legs. It's a true study, I'm not pulling your leg. I know it might frighten you to hear these words coming from German. It should, you know, they call me Dr. Death for a reason. So, well, it was like, you know, crabs, if you handle them and they pinch your fingers with their claws, it made me angry. So, you know, in this one group treatment, I sort of pulled off one leg, the other group got like 2 legs pulled off, and then I had a group that pretty much were totally mutilated, no legs left. And even my supervisor, you know, this tall Aussie tattooed bloke, tough as nails, so said to me, Svenno, you know what, mate? When I was kind of pulling these legs off, mate, it was haunting me at night, mate. It's giving me nightmares, driving me bonkers, mate. So I went, yeah, so why did we actually have to do this then? Well, Svenno, mate, if you want to make an omelette, you have to break a few legs, mate. So I went, I don't quite get the association between legs and omelette, but I sort of figured, okay, if you want to make a difference, you have to make sacrifices. I went, wow, that's a nice sort of principle. It became sort of a guiding principle in my life. You know, why did I give my girlfriend an engagement ring and then broke her legs? Yes, exactly. You know, if you want to make an omelette, you have to break a few legs. Eggs. Anyway. So you probably wonder, why did you do such a horrible study? That's a good question. Well, for fishers, if they use fishing nets and they actually target fish, crustaceans, crabs can be a bit of a nuisance because they get entangled in these nets, and they want to get rid of them quickly, and they don't have the same patience than your granny has when she's unwrapping her Christmas present. No, they just smash them against the hull of the boat, just rip off their legs and toss them overboard, and no one cared. Well, I did. For a change, I was the nice guy. But after ripping off 300 legs. And you probably wonder, what actually came from this study? That's another good question. Did we possibly waste a bit of taxpayers' money on this? Well, it was Australian money. But, well, the result was basically that if you rip legs off, the more legs you rip off, the more likely the crab dies. And as scientists, sometimes you just have to put a figure to it. But there was another interesting sort of finding that there were a few crabs that had legs ripped off, but they did survive. I sort of took a closer look, and okay, they can actually, those legs came off at the autotomy plane. They have a joint where they can drop the legs if they are in danger. Like if a crocodile hangs onto them, the leg, they just can drop the leg. And then the wound is actually sealed. They're not losing any hemolymph, which is like the crustacean blood plasma. So that was an interesting finding. I also thought, for us humans, that would be a nice thing to have. Imagine like your wife sort of clings on to your arm when you want to go to the pub. No, darling, please stay here. Just drop that thing. It's too easy. But sort of what also I like about my job, working with fishers. Okay, they can be pretty tough. I didn't like this sort of wildlife smashing aspect of it. But, they're sort of hard-working bunch and full of testosterone. Like for a fisher, feminism is still like a French word for an engine spare part. Oh no, we can't go out to sea today. The bloody feminism is broken again. But yeah, they can be sort of hard-working and tough, but they have also their sensitive sides, So sometimes they sit at lunchtime together, send off a prayer to the Virgin Mary to protect them from the forces of the sea. And then after lunch, they watch anal porn on DVD. So cute. Yeah, whenever I'm with them, I sort of feel like, cool, I could really rule the world. But don't worry, not like a German.